Oh my goodness gracious, has Call of Duty fallen? As one of your top streamers out there, Nadeshot, went on a yap session. All right, I'm not going to play you guys everything. This was 45 minutes of pure talk on Call of Duty and how it has fallen as one of the great games that he loves. It was Nadeshot ranting about this on stream before shortly after not loading up Call of Duty, but Marvel Rivals instead. This comes less than 24 hours after a string of Warzone creators and streamers have also left the game to play other games. So is this the beginning of the end for Call of Duty? Most likely not, but it's a blimp in time where you have top creators calling out Call of Duty for all of its flaws, and it's now begun with Nadeshot.
8 years ago, before 100 Thieves started, when I was a full-time creator, this is certainly a video I would have made on my YouTube channel. And listen, bro, I'm not trying to sound or be more dramatic than I need to be, but for me, it's a pretty big problem. Like, just point blank period, dude. It's tough because I have made a living off of Call of Duty, and I love this game. We obviously have made a huge investment in our team for Black Ops 6, and I think from a spectator's perspective, Call of Duty's fine from a competitive standpoint in the CDL with LA Thieves in the league. It's like, even when I was spending time away from Call of Duty for many years, even if the game wasn't that popular or performing that well from like a pub perspective, you know, just like the general audience, the mass public playing the game, even if there was a year where there was a lower player base, a smaller player base compared to, you know, what we have right now with Black Ops 6, the viewership is still really good for the CDL, man. Like, as long as there's no catastrophic fuck up from Call of Duty's standpoint, competitive will be fine. But I think there's a really big problem with Call of Duty right now, and this problem has been an issue since the game was released, or in my opinion, actually, when they released Rank Play. I actually love this game, brother. I love Black Ops 6. I think the core mechanics are addictive. I think they're rewarding. I think the gunfights are fun when you feel like you've had a fair gunfight. But look, man, point blank period, ever since Rank Play was released, I think Call of Duty, all the shortcuts that they have taken from a server performance, a server protection, I think Call of Duty has just continued to take shortcuts over and over and over again when it comes to investing in the health and quality of the game. You know, this has been a really big complaint from my perspective, from my end, for many, many years now.
And a comparison point that he often has throughout this is he compares this game of Call of Duty / Warzone and the treatment they get from the devs over at Activision or the publishing side as well to other top games. Like when he goes to Valorant and the treatment that game gets from Riot, or when he see the games like CS and the way that Valve is involved there, which is maybe not the best comparison given the past 12 months, but you know what he means, right? The game is constantly trying to improve, or at least the player base is treated better than the Call of Duty player base, which I think the bar is fairly low when it comes to that comparison.
A Call of Duty player and you send them over to a game like Valorant, where the game itself from the ground up was built around making sure that you have a fair and competitive gaming experience when you tap into a game of ranked. But not only, you know, like the health and quality of the game, but also the way that it feels when you're playing on those servers. You know, I think if you boil it down to a number, Valorant servers are comparable to like 128 tick rate, which tick rate is, you know, from the Village Idiot over here's understanding of it, is really how often the server is like pinging back and forth to each player, and like the way that your bullets connect and the way that the game reacts to your input on the keyboard and mouse versus other players is how quickly you're getting a response back from the server. And for anyone that doesn't know, Call of Duty for years, I mean, really since like I think the dawn of Call of Duty, they are on 10 to 16 to 20 something tick rate servers. Listen, I'm not trying to speak objective facts, I would say, just because I don't have a network background, but Warzone is 10 tick rate for pubs, 20 for ranked, and multiplayer is dynamic up to 24. I mean, listen, when I hear that compared to what I've experienced on Valorant and what they provide over on Counter-Strike, I mean, they're not even in the same ballpark, dude. They're not even in the same category of class.
And later talking about how he made a lot of reference points to how houses are built to nowadays versus how they were built back in the 60s. And I wasn't around back then, but a lot of those houses still are. So he's talking about how a game like Call of Duty, it's built fresh. It looks like it's made for 2024, but it runs like it's set back in 2008. So it's a very, very polished on the outside looking product, right? Brand new Call of Duty. Let's play it. Let's drop $70. It's the best Call of Duty of all time. And then you actually sit down to play it and you start to understand all of the minute issues that this home of Call of Duty truly has and is not willing to fix, which I think that is also a great comparison.
From my perspective, I think Call of Duty has taken pride in that type of audience, that type of casual player base. And so they've never really felt the need to invest in servers that perform better and faster and more efficiently, because I think they believe that the players that are truly making up the network of players that they have, using their game and playing their game every day, they won't notice the difference. And they don't actually care. That is one of the biggest reasons why we continue to be served just a handful of shit every single year when we play this game. It's like houses being built. I was trying to think of an analogy before I started the stream that would make sense the way that I see Call of Duty. It's kind of like homes built in 2023, 2022. It's like if my dad, who is a carpenter, and he built the house that we grew up in, and he's been doing construction since the 70s or the 80s, he would tell me, hey, if you can, buy a home that was built in like 1965. They used great materials. Dude, I'm over here trying to make a fucking construction analogy to talk about Call of Duty. They use shortcuts, cheap materials. You move into this fucking thing and it's broken. The construction is just shitty, shoddy, cheap materials. The people that are building it, they don't give a fuck. They're just trying to get it done. You got nails exposed in the drywall. All the plumbing is fucked. There's nothing in this home that actually works properly. It looks good, but once you get in there and you live there for 6 months, the damn thing is falling apart. That's what Call of Duty feels like to me.
And so you now have all of these streamers and creators leaving the game of Call of Duty. They will likely be back. That's just me saying that. But they are playing other big games that also have big funds to push themselves, like Marvel Rivals, right? That's well backed and it's going to be well pushed for quite some time. It seems a lot of people are going to play that game. Meanwhile, Halo Infinite, it's just me and 2,734 other people. It's okay. I don't need you. But it's great to see people talking about Call of Duty in this form and facet, and hopefully things can be corrected. Like you can only stand the test of time for so long and get away with these things for so long, although they're still printing money, so they don't need to fix anything. And so maybe there's a course correction here. If enough streamers and creators realize that, is it going to be enough to push that pedal? I don't know. I'm just here to talk about it, though. So what do you guys think about this? Is this the downfall of Call of Duty? And what do you think about the state of gaming right now? You enjoying Call of Duty? You enjoying other games? Let me know in the comment section down below. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Drink up. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Take care.